If you find yourself getting stuck into a rut with one particular writing, like you always have Conan as a hero for whatever it is, even if it's a sci-fi. Yeah. How do you break yourself out of that?
A lot of people will say, sit down and just keep writing, just push through it. That's how you get through like writer's block or something. I personally can't do that. I know a lot of writers who can. I'm very neurotic. If I get stuck on a story, I say, there's always something else I can work on. My mood shifts. I get 40,000 words in 3 weeks on a story, and I sit there and go, man, I don't really know what to do right now. None of my characters are talking to me. But you know what? I'm into a samurai kick now, so I'll leave Arabia and I'll go to feudal Japan and I'll write this. And then maybe I'll put 20,000 words on that and then think, oh, you know what would work in the Arabian story? And I can go back to that. A lot of writers can't do that because once they leave a story, they come back to it and it's, what was I thinking for this? What was I going to do? What was the main quest? That's another reason why I like to outline so much before I start. Follow for that?
Well, I was thinking if it was like you're going from story to story, and you wind up writing the same thing.
This thing, it's actually how Escort got made. I was getting a little stagnant in my writing, and I was like, what can I do? So I like to give myself writing challenges. Something really weird. And so I went to her, and I was like, give me a writing prompt. She's like what? Something that I wouldn't normally write. I normally write historical fiction, a few modern pieces.
And I told him, first of all, something with a happy ending. And second of all, how did I phrase it?
She was like, main character, Futanari. Everybody doesn't know what Futanari is. It's a hermaphrodite. Somebody born with both sets of genitalia. And I was like, that's really something I wouldn't write. And she was like, an erotica. That's really something I wouldn't write. Transsexual erotica. Okay. And that's how Escort got started. It shifted a little bit away from that, but it has, I don't know when it will be, but I've already been approached to be on Gay Life TV. I didn't know it existed either. But at some point I will have an interview on that. It's a subscription cable channel. Like I said, if you got a Roku box, you can pay $6 a month and get it, if you're into that. As Seinfeld would say, there's nothing wrong with that.
You got 2 minutes.
Yeah. So that's a good way to do it. Just give yourself good writing prompts. Write something that's totally out of your way. You're talking about Conan as the hero, So write something from the villain's perspective. Imagine, Conan's villain, in the next story. Write a story from his perspective. What's his motivation? What does he think? Or, usually write, something, like I said, historical fiction. So set your next piece, even if it's just a short story or flash fiction, something you can sit down and write in one sitting, something you can sit down and read in one sitting. And just make it set on a spaceship. Something totally out of your, out of your realm. How much time do you say?
Like 2 minutes. Probably got time for like maybe one more question.
Anybody have a short question? In the suit, go ahead.
So you said that character development, like outlines beforehand, are one of the main parts in creating the character into the story. So let's say you have a large collection of characters that the plot basically revolves around. How do you work on developing an outline beforehand that allows for distinct characters, but they're also synergistic to have that?
Honestly, I've used flowcharts before. That make a box with each character's name in it, and you put a circle in the middle of whatever the overarching plot is, what connects them all. And then you line everything to it, and you figure out, all right, where are intersecting lines? Where can people be intersected? Where are divergent lines? Where do they not come together? And those are the things you need to work on. If these 5 characters are all part of this main central thing, what is only one person part of? Write a chapter about that. My latest work in progress. It's all from the Sultan's perspective, but this chapter, Sultan's doing boring things. Nobody cares what he's doing. But if I skip over that, then there's 8 months that have passed. other people are doing things. So I go to them. What are they doing in that time? Nobody cares what Assad is doing. They care what Buri is doing. They care what Rabia is doing. So I write a chapter from Buri's perspective, a chapter from Rabia's perspective. In 8 months, they all come back together, and we're back with Assad, and it's Assad's point of view. But for 3 chapters, I'm with other people. That's a good way to do it. Outline, what those 3 people would be, or what those other 3 people would be doing at that time. It's a divergent line. So that's the best way to do it, I would say, is divergence. I don't want to make you guys late for your next panel. If anybody else has other questions, there's a form on the right-hand side of jutsu.com to contact me, email me. I'll respond to anything you want. Anybody who asked a question, if you want to come up and grab door prize, thank you all for coming.